The original 1982 film Tron introduces Kevin Flynn, a genius young programmer who works for the tech mega company Incom. Flynn creates several games utilizing Incom's mainframe, but before he can present his work to his bosses, a rival programmer named Ed Dillinger steals the work to present as his own. And so, 3 years later, Dillinger has risen through the ranks to become a senior executive at Incom, while Flynn has been fired and now runs his own video game arcade. Incom is now largely run by an AI program known as the Master Control Program, or MCP, created by Dillinger. Still bitter at his ousting, Flynn uses one of his old programs known as Clue to hack into MCP to find evidence of Dillinger's treachery. Instead, MCP dereses Clue, permanently destroying it. Dillinger then discovers that the MCP AI is rapidly expanding its knowledge and power, and plotting to take over the country's defense systems, believing itself smarter than humans. When Dillinger attempts to stop the MCP, the program blackmails him into cooperating. Fellow Incom programmer Alan Bradley and Flynn's engineer ex-girlfriend Lora discover the danger that MCP poses and seek out the help of Flynn to shut it down. Alan explains that he has developed a security system known as Tron, which could be used to keep the MCP in check, and the trio just need to reach the Incom servers to bring the program online. After breaking into Incom's headquarters, Flynn is confronted by the MCP, which uses an experimental laser to digitize him into the mainframe system. Inside this digital world, Flynn discovers that the computer programs are all sentient beings that resemble their creators, ruled over by the power-hungry MCP and its right-hand man Sark, who resembles Dillinger. All of the programs that resist MCP's commands are forced to compete in deadly games that could lead to their permanent deletion. Flynn is forced to compete in the series of games where he befriends the programs Ram and Tron, who resembles his creator Alan. Flynn asserts himself well in the games, as many of them were created by him before being stolen by Dillinger. While competing in a game of Light Cycle, Flynn, Ram, and Tron all manage to escape the arena. As they are pursued by MCP forces, Tron is separated from the group and Ram is left seriously injured. As Ram dereses, he encourages Flynn to use his programming knowledge to reunite with Tron and free the system from MCP's control. Flynn finds Tron and the pair align with a program named Yori, modeled after Lora, to race to the MCP's core to destroy it once and for all. Unfortunately, Sark arrives to confront them, capturing Flynn and Yori and seemingly killing Tron. Sark takes his prisoners to the MCP's core, where captured rogue programs are being absorbed by the MCP to further strengthen its power. Tron returns, still very much alive, engaging Sark in a fight for control of the system. Flynn realizes that his programming knowledge allows him the ability to manipulate the world around him, distracting the MCP long enough for Tron to destroy its core, killing both the MCP and Sark. With the programs of the digital world saved from their oppressive ruler, Flynn returns to the real world, where he is finally able to gather the evidence he needs to prove Dillinger's plagiarism. In the end, Dillinger is fired and Flynn is named Incom's new CEO, happily reunited with his friends and colleagues, Alan and Lora. The story continues in Tron Legacy. 7 years after being named Incom CEO, Kevin Flynn is now a single father who has created his own thriving digital world known as the Grid, working alongside Tron and the newly recreated Clue. Flynn recounts his adventures on the Grid to his young son Sam, but one day he disappears without a trace, leaving Incom in danger of financial ruin and Sam an orphan. 20 years later, a now-adult Sam remains a primary shareholder in Incom, though he has great disdain for what his father's company has now become. Sam breaks into Incom's headquarters to leak its newest operating system online for free, an act that draws great ire from all of the Incom executives, including Ed Dillinger Jr. The only exception is Alan Bradley, who is happily reminded of his old friend Kevin Flynn's ethics. Alan informs Sam that he has just received a page from Flynn's old arcade, which has have been offline for 20 years. This inspires Sam to investigate the arcade, finding his father's secret office and suddenly being digitized into the grid. Inside the grid, Sam is forced into playing deadly gladiatorial games, just as his father had been decades prior. But after facing off against a program named Renzler, Sam is injured and begins to bleed, prompting the other programs to realize that he is actually a human user. Renzler takes Sam to meet with the ruler of the grid, the now corrupted Clue, who Sam shockingly realizes resembles a younger version of his father. Clue forces Sam to face off against him in a light cycle match. Despite more than holding his own, Sam is eventually overpowered by Clue and nearly killed. Thankfully, he is rescued by a program known as Quorra, an apprentice of Kevin Flynn, who takes Sam to finally reunite with his father. Flynn explains that after creating the grid with Clue and Tron, a new race of programs known as ISOs began to evolve, having not been created by a human user. Flynn saw these beings as a miracle, but Clue saw them as a flaw in the system that needed to be exterminated. And so, Clue betrayed his allies, taking control of the grid, destroying all of the ISOs, killing Tron, and trapping Flynn permanently in the digital world. Clue had sent the message to Alan hoping that he would try to rescue Flynn from the grid, reopening the portal to the physical world. And so, now that Sam has arrived, Clue plots to escape through the portal and take his digital army to the real world to impose his own idealistic perfection there too. Clue's forces attack Flynn, Sam, and Quorra, needing Flynn's identity disk to access the portal. The trio manage to fight off their attackers and escape, though Quorra is injured in the conflict. As Flynn heals Quorra, he reveals to Sam that she is the last remaining ISO. As the trio prepare for their final fight against Clue, Flynn and Sam finally reconcile as father and son, while Sam also develops feelings for Quorra, who expresses her desire to experience the physical world. Unfortunately, the trio are then intercepted by Clue's warship, where Flynn realizes that Renzler is in fact his old friend Tron, reprogrammed by Clue to do his villainous bidding. Flynn, Sam, and Quorra flee the villain, while Clue's army pursues them in an aerial battle using light jets. During the pursuit, Renzler finally begins to remember his identity as Tron, then sacrifices himself to crash into Clue to help Flynn escape. As Flynn, Sam, and Quorra reach the portal, Clue and his army arrive to stand in their way. Flynn chooses to sacrifice himself, merging with Clue to destroy it and its entire army. Sam is helpless to save his father and exits the portal with Quorra as a massive explosion rocks the grid. In the end, Sam is returned to Flynn's arcade, where he backs up the grid onto a disc that he wears as a necklace, keeping it safe with him at all times. With Alan's help, Sam takes control of Incom, frustrating Dillinger Jr., and then reunites with a now human Quorra, excited to help her experience all of the pleasures of the physical world.